Okay, I guess everyone has written it down. So you can see in the slide there is a statement. In the slide there is a statement that mathematically the determinant is calculated by adding the product of elements of any row or column with the corresponding cofactor. What it is saying is that if you look carefully, what I have written over here, you can see that this determinant, this first determinant value, I am marking it by red. This first determinant value is nothing but the minor of this one. Minor of this one means what? M11. Yes or no? This is the element A11, and if you multiply with its minor, you are getting this determinant. Similarly, there is a negative sign and then the second element, that is A, what it is? A12. And this determinant, if you look carefully, this determinant 2, 0, -1 and 8, it is nothing but M12. Similarly, it is A13, M13. Okay. Now, if you look for the cofactors, then cofactor of this A11 will be directly equal to M11 because 1 plus 1 is an even number. Okay. So, I can also write this as, I am writing in a black pen. I can also write this as it is equal to A11 into the cofactor or capital A. I'll write cofactor of first element A11 plus this negative into minus M12. Can I write it as capital A12? And similarly it is A13 and capital A13. So determinant can be calculated by just multiplying the elements with their corresponding cofactor but along any particular row or column. Now here I have chosen the first row. I multiply this element with the cofactor plus this element in the cofactor plus this element with the cofactor, but instead of these you can choose any of the particular row or any of the particular column. Like you can use the C2 column also. You can write it as 3 into its cofactor plus 8 into its cofactor plus -2 into its cofactor. It will give you the same numerical determinant value. Understood this thing or not? Write down the statement from the slide that mathematically determinant can be calculated by adding the product of elements in any row or column with the corresponding cofactor. So this was about how to calculate the determinant. Till this point we have seen the physical representation or the physical meaning of a determinant and how to calculate the determinant. Now we will see some properties associated with the determinant value. So next topic, write down very important properties in this chapter. Every property is very important because questions are asked based on properties only. So if the question is asking about to find out the determinant, basically you will need to use any of these properties to find that. Okay. So very important. Mark it as star or whatever you write as an important topic. Write on the first property also. First property from the slide. Properties of determinant. First property given in the slide. First property. Determinant remains unaltered by changing its rows into columns and columns into rows. What do you mean by that? That if you take the transpose of the matrix, then the determinant value will remain what? Same. So first property basically means or implies that A determinant or A transpose determinant is equal to the determinant of A. Got it or not? This is the property in statement wise. This is written like this. Okay. Next property. Write on the next property. If two parallel lines of determinant are interchanged, if you are interchanging two parallel lines, and from the word parallel lines we try to mean here is that either two columns or two rows. Okay, what do you mean by parallel lines? Parallel lines is either two columns or two rows. Okay, so if you interchange any two parallel lines, either two rows or two columns, determinant value will have the same numerical value but changes in sign. Okay, second property. So let's say if this is your determinant A and determinant B is this much. Can you define or can you tell me what will be the relationship among these two determinants or these two values? How will they be related according to the property given? According to the property given, can you tell me the relationship among the determinants of the matrices A and B? Yes, they will have same value. Why same value? Because determinant B is obtained by two interchange operation. What are the two interchange operation? First of all, we have interchange C1 with C3 and then we interchange C3 with C2. So two interchanges operation. If you are interchanging one time, then you will get a interchange in the sign value. Means if it was some plus x, then it will become minus x after this. And again if you interchange second time, then again it will change the sign, it will become again the plus x. So it means that from here determinant of A will be equal to the determinant of B because of two interchanges, because of two interchanges. In this point only, in this property only write a point. If n interchanges are done, then the resultant determinant will be minus 1 to the power n into the initial determinant value. Okay, I guess there is no doubt in understanding this point. So let's move ahead with the third property. If any doubt comes in any property, please ask me at that time only. Okay, we are going very very slowly, so please ask me right over there. Third property is if two parallel lines are identical, determinant is directly 0. If two parallel lines are identical, identical means two parallel lines are same, then determinant will be directly 0. Either these two parallel lines can be two rows or two columns, it doesn't matter. Okay. Everywhere there is a parallel line, what that means that property is applied to rows also and columns also. Please write down the examples along with. Fourth property, if each element of a line is multiplied by same factor, the determinant is also multiplied by same factor. So if I say that the determinant A was this determinant, and now if I say that there is a determinant B which is then according to this property, what is this property saying? That if each element of a line, if each element of a line is multiplied by a common factor, then the determinant value is multiplied by the same common factor. That means the relationship between the determinant of B and the determinant of A is that in the B determinant you have multiplied 2 over this line, so it will directly become 2 times of determinant of A. Means 2 times I can just take this 2 as common out of this determinant, and then the resulting will become this one, so 2 times of determinant of A. Okay, this is what this property is trying to say. Done? solve this. If let's say for this determinant you have multiplied one common factor to one particular row, means particular row or particular column, if you are multiplying one same factor to each and every element, then you can take out this 2 here as common. This factor you can take out as common from this determinant like this, so that it becomes 2 times of determinant of A. That's what it is trying to say. Okay, so 162 is the correct answer. Why correct answer? Because here this 3 is multiplied to the matrix. This 3 is multiplied to the matrix, and we have seen that if you want to multiply a scalar to a matrix, third operation that we have studied, multiplication of a matrix by scalar. If you are multiplying a scalar to the matrix, then that scalar is multiplied to each and every element of that matrix. Do you remember it or not? In the last class, we have seen that scalar multiplication or multiplication by a scalar to a matrix is done by multiplying each and every element of that matrix with the corresponding scalar. Yes? So using that thing, what can I say? That this 3 is multiplied to every element, and this A is a matrix of order 4, means it will have 4 rows, and in those 4 rows this 3 is common among all those elements. So if I want to take out 3 as common from that determinant you will say that it is taking 3 to the power 4 as common. Okay, let us assume, let's say I imagine some matrix. So 4 cross 4 matrix is there, something like this, A, B, C, D and so on. There are some numbers. Now 3A matrix will be what? 3A matrix. This is a determinant. But if I talk about determinant, this will become 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D and so on, 3 something, 3 something, 3 something. Like this. Now for finding out the determinant of this matrix, what will you do? You will take 3 as common from here. Okay, there will be a 4th row also. So 3 common from 1st row, 3 common from 2nd row, 3 common from 3rd row, similarly from 4th row. So what will be this determinant value turn out? So it will be 3 times 3 to the power 4 into the initial determinant value. That means 3 to the power 4 into 2, which will be 162. 162 is the final answer. Everybody understood? Any doubt? So if elements of 2 parallel lines are proportional, what do you mean by this? Let's say this is determinant A, which is like this: 1 2 1, 2 4 2, 3 minus 1 and 8. So proportionality means that in this you can see that R2 is the same as 2 times R1. Okay, we can see that R2 is 2 times R1, which means that what? R2 is proportional to R1. That 2 is nothing but proportionality constant. So whenever 2 rows are proportional, means this kind of relationship can be seen among the rows or columns, then this determinant value will be directly 0. Why? Because we have seen the earlier properties also. We can see that this 2 can be taken out as common. If I take this 2 as common, then it will become 1 2 1, again 1 2 1, and the row 3 will be remain the same. And you know that if 2 rows are identical, 2 parallel lines are identical, determinant will be 0. So it is nothing but the combination of earlier 2 properties. Okay, it is the same thing. So write down this example and the next property. Yes, next property quite easy. Determinant will be 0 if all the elements of a particular line are 0. If all the elements of a particular line are 0, determinant is 0. So in this case, all the elements are 0. And it should be obviously, because we have seen that it is nothing but the product of the elements with the corresponding cofactor. Elements with the corresponding cofactor. So if I select this column to be the column along which I expand the determinant, so it will be 0 into its cofactor plus 0 into its cofactor plus 0 into its cofactor. Again it will be 0 only. Okay, quite easy property. 7th one, important property. 7th one. Seventh one, determinant of upper and lower triangular matrix. Basically, determinant of a triangular matrix is equal to product of leading diagonal elements. Now, what do you mean by leading diagonal is the principal diagonal. It is the same as principal diagonal, similar term to principal diagonal elements. Okay. So, this is a what kind of matrix? UTM or LTM? What is this? LTM or UTM? Reply. Is it an LTM or UTM? So never get confused. If the elements in the above part, if the above part of the diagonal are non-zero, that means that is a UTM. So this is a UTM. So that's why a triangular matrix, so directly the product of diagonal elements will be the determinant, that is minus 16 will be the determinant. Okay. And if you expand using that formula also, so if I select this row along which the expansion needs to be done, then you will say 0 into the cofactor of 0, obviously 0, plus 0 into the cofactor of 0, obviously 0, plus minus 1 into cofactor of minus 1. Now cofactor of minus 1 is minus 1 to the power, what? This position is 3 plus 3, so 3 plus 3 into minor. Minor is 2 minus 1, 0 and 8. So this 0, 0 and minus 1 to the power 1 will be plus 1. So minus 1 into again 2 into 8, that is minus 16. So yes, for a triangular matrix, the product of diagonal elements is the same as the determinant value. Next property, if each element of a column consists of the sum or difference of m terms, okay, please write down the statement, and I know it's a bit difficult to understand. So let me take an example. Just first write it down, then I'll explain it to you. So what this property trying to say is that if any column, first of all, up till now the properties was regarding the parallel lines, but now the term parallel line is not used, the term column is used. That means this property is not applicable for the rows. Okay, not applicable for the rows. Now what is the property saying? That if the column, if any of the column consists of some m terms, like in this case the column consists of two terms like a square, b square, c square, and these ones and one, like this. Okay, now then you can split this matrix into two determinants like this, column 1 and column 3 as it is, but in the second column just take the first term like this and add it with second determinant in which the column 1 and column 3 will remain as it is, and just take the second term of that determinant. Okay, this is what it means by splitting the determinant into sum or difference of m terms like this. Okay, now why we do this? Because it becomes easier if you split those terms. Like you can see that now you can take this a as common from this row, b as common from this row, c as common from this row, and then it will become somewhat easier to solve this. That is the only thing we are trying to do here. Okay, did you understand this property or not? Please reply. Just split the terms determinant into the number of terms which you have in your column. So property was that if your column consists of more than one term, like in this case the column is consisting of a square plus 1, b square plus 1, c square plus 1. So there is a sum of two terms in every element of particular column. Then what you can do, you can split this determinant into the sum of two terms. Split this determinant into sum of two terms, two determinants like this, while in this the column 1 and 3 will remain the same, but you will just take the first term of each element in this column like a square, b square, c square, and the second term of each element of this column, that is 1, 1, 1. This was what your property is trying to say to you. Like if in this case it was a, let's say here it was a minus 1 and minus 1, then again you can split into two terms, two determinants, a cube, b cube, c cube in first one, and in the next one minus 1 and minus 1. Did you understand? Udit will repeat his question. Up till then, write down this property that if each element of a line is added with equi-multiples of the corresponding elements of the other lines, determinant remains unaltered. So what it is talking about is the process of elementary transformation. You have already studied this thing. You must remember that all you used to do is like this. R1 plus 2 R2 you would do like this, and still the determinant will remain the same. So some operations like this is always valid, and always valid means they do not change your determinant value. So this is what this property is talking about, that if you add equi-multiples of other parallel line, equi-multiple of row 2, if you add to the row 1, then the determinant value will still remain the same. Okay, understood or not about this property? So these kind of operations are known as elementary transformations. Elementary transformations which do not change the determinant value. No. Splitting the matrix and then taking the determinant is not equivalent. Understand this thing. We have seen determinants are nothing but vectors. Okay. So if you say that there are two vectors I plus j and I minus 2j, okay. If I ask you what is the magnitude of this, then you will say magnitude of this is under root 2. The magnitude of this is under root 5. But if I say that this magnitude is not equal to the summation of these two vectors. So if I ask you magnitude of this quantity, it will be under root 5. This is not the same as under root 2 plus under root 5. So you can't directly add the determinants and get the resultant matrices determinant. Okay. This is a property of determinants that will come later on, that if you have the determinant of A plus B, you can't directly say it is a determinant of A plus determinant of B. You can't use the property like this. Okay, there is no property like this. They are not equal because these determinants or these matrices are nothing but vectors. So magnitude of vector, you can't directly add them. It will not give you the addition vectors magnitude. I hope you are able to understand. So determinant of A, if determinant of A is 0, we have already discussed, this is known as singular matrix. Okay, determinant A not 1 but 0. Similarly, if the determinant of A non-zero, then it is known as non-singular matrix. Done? Next property that I was right now talking about, that determinant of summation of two matrices is not the same as determinant of A plus determinant of B. Okay, this was, let's say this was A vector, this was B vector. You can say that A plus B vector will be this vector. The determinant or the magnitude of this vector is this one, magnitude of this vector is this one, but the magnitude of A plus B cannot be said as equal to the summation of under root 2 plus under root 5. This was the property. But this is true for the multiplication. Multiplication means that determinant of AB can be written as determinant of A into determinant of B. This is true for the multiplication of two matrices, but not for the addition of two matrices. Done? Done with the properties? So let me remove the board and I'll give you one question. Okay, find out the determinant of this matrix given in the question. Solve the question. Very easy question, just a determinant of this matrix you have to find out. So one thing that I would like to focus on here is that just for solving a determinant of very high order like this, 4 plus 4 matrix is there. For solving the determinant of this quantity, select that row or that column in which there are maximum zeros. Okay, so select that row or that column in which there are maximum zeros. So you can see that this row is having 2 zeros and this column is also having 2 zeros. So you can select any either of them to find out the determinant by expansion. So let's say I select the column 2 and now if I expand, then what can I say? 1 into its cofactor. What is the cofactor of 1? Cofactor, finding out the cofactor, what will I do? I just remove the row and the column in which the element is present and take the rest determinant. So it will be 2, 0, 1, 3, 1, 2. Then if you multiply this element with its cofactor, obviously it will give you a 0. Okay. And one more thing we forgot, that you need to take minus 1 to the power. What is this element? Position of this one is 1, 2. So 1 plus 2. Similarly for 3. 3's position is third row, second column. So 3 plus 2 into cofactor. Cofactor will be obtained by deleting this column and this row. So this will be 0, 2, 3, 1, 3, 0 and 3, 1, 2. And again the cofactor of this, if it is multiplied to this one, this will give you 0. Now solve this, just the thing is to solve. So it will be minus 1 to the power even odd number, so it will give you minus 1. If I solve this, this will give you 1 times 0 minus 1 minus 3 times 4 minus 3, 1, and then 0 times cofactor, it is 0. Again it will be a minus 3 here. So minus 3 times 0 times anything 0 minus 2 times 2 and plus 3 times 1 minus 9 minus 8. Okay, so minus 1, minus 3, minus 4 and it will come out to plus 4. Then minus 4, minus 24. Minus 4, minus 24, minus 28. So 3 into 28. Okay. So it will come out to be 88. This is the final answer. Yes? Did you get it? Minus 12. Please check your numerical value again. It is. So now let's fastly solve that question. Okay. Let's stop this class right now. Please write this question and attempt it at your home. We'll discuss this question in the next class. Answer I will not disclose right now. I'll discuss it tomorrow. Just please note it down and we'll discuss this question tomorrow. And if you have any doubt, you can ask right now. Any doubt in today's class? So we have discussed most important part today, that is the determinant. In the next class, we'll be solving some gate questions based on the determinant topic. And then we will start with the concept of rank and vector space.